amadlozi.
Wena mqaphi womnyango uvalele kumnyama.
Wena mqaphi womnyango uvalele kumnyama.
Wena mhambi ohamba endleleni kaMaat.
Wena mhambi ohamba endleleni kaMaat.
Wena uhlala entabeni yakho.
Wena uhlala entabeni yakho.
Phangisa uye ezweni elingcwele.
Phangisa uye ezweni elingcwele.
Ngoba sengiyaphakama.
Ngoba sengiyaphakama.
Vuka nawe uma ngikubiza.
Vuka nawe uma ngikubiza.
Anpu.
Anpu.
Wena uhlala egunjini lokugquma umzimba womufi.
Wena uhlala egunjini lokugquma umzimba womufi.
Beka izandla zakho phezu kwebhokisi.
Beka izandla zakho phezu kwebhokisi.
Elivalele umzimba wami.
Elivalele umzimba wami.
Lula insithazelo yakho.
Lula insithazelo yakho.
Ifinyelele nasesiphongweni sami.
Ifinyelele nasesiphongweni sami.
Busisa lenqaba ngokuvela kwakho.
Busisa lenqaba ngokuvela kwakho.
Ngiholele endleleni yokulunga.
Ngiholele endleleni yokulunga.
Mqaphikazi.
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 Molebedi.
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 Aah Anpu.
Aah Anpu.
Aah Anpu.
Aah Anpu.
Aah Anpu.
Aah Anpu.
Bayede kuwe Anpu.
Bayede kuwe Anpu.
Mqaphi wesango lasentshonalanga.
Mqaphi wesango lasentshonalanga.
Wena unamehlo abona ezweni lamathongo.
Wena unamehlo abona ezweni lamathongo.
Ungumhlahlandlela.
Ungumhlahlandlela.
Mqaphi womnyango omkhulu wezulu.
Mqaphi womnyango omkhulu wezulu.
Mqaphi wamadoda nabesifazane.
Mqaphi wamadoda nabesifazane.
Ngiyakusondeza.
Ngiyakusondeza.
Tabatha induku yakho yobukhosi.
Tabatha induku yakho yobukhosi.
Ungamukele endaweni yakho.
Ungamukele endaweni yakho.
Wena mqaphi wezindawo ezifihlekile.
Wena mqaphi wezindawo ezifihlekile.
Wena mqaphi wesango lezwe lasentshona.
Wena mqaphi wesango lezwe lasentshona.
Ngivumele ngingene.
Ngivumele ngingene.
Ezweni labathulile.
Ezweni labathulile.
Ngifunde ukukhuluma ngaphandle kwamazwi.
Ngifunde ukukhuluma ngaphandle kwamazwi.
Uma kusa.
Ngizovuka
ngingomunye wabalandeli bakho.
Ngizovuka ngingomunye wabalandeli bakho.
Ngizoba ngomunye walabo abalandela emuva kwakho.
Ngizoba ngomunye walabo abalandela emuva kwakho.
Ngime ngiqaphe nawe.
Ngime ngiqaphe nawe.
Ngizoba umncedisi wakho.
Ngizoba umncedisi wakho.
Vuleka mnyango wasentshona ngingene.
Vuleka mnyango wasentshona ngingene.
Nduku yobukhosi Anpu.
Nduku yobukhosi Anpu.
Ngihole kulesango.
Ngihole kulesango.
Molebedi.
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 Mqaphikazi.
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 Anpu.
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 Bayede kuwe Anpu.
Bayede kuwe Anpu.
Wena unobuso bempungushe.
Wena unobuso bempungushe.
Mqaphi wezwe lokhokho.
Mqaphi wezwe lokhokho.
Ungumholi walaba abakulandelayo.
Ungumholi walaba abakulandelayo.
Ngibonise indlela engingahamba ngayo ngokuthula.
Ngibonise indlela engihamba ngayo ngokuthula.
Ngoba ngiqotho.
Ngoba ngiqotho.
Bayede kuwe Aah
Bayede kuwe Aah
Mvuli wezindlela.
Mvuli wezindlela.
Udumo kuwe Hersteshat.
Udumo kuwe Hersteshat.
Wena usemfihlakalweni.
Wena usemfihlakalweni.
Ngiyakudumisa Kenti.
Ngiyakudumisa Kenti.
Amyentu.
Amyentu.
Wena nkosana yezwe lentshona.
Wena nkosana yezwe lentshona.
Bayede kuwe Neptajosa.
Bayede kuwe Neptajosa.
Uyinkosi yendawo engcwele.
Uyinkosi yendawo engcwele.
Siyavusela kuwe Immuted.
Siyavusela kuwe Immuted.
Wena uhlala egunjini lokumbeza umufi.
Wena uhlala egunjini lokumbeza umufi.
Aah Anpu.
Aah Anpu.
Aah Anpu.
Aah Anpu.
Aah Anpu.
Aah Anpu.
Mqaphikazi.
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 Molebedi.
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 Ashu.
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 Atefnud.
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 Anut.
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 Agep.
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 Asa.
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 Aoset.
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 Aset.
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 Anemtet.
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 Aah Anpu.
Aah Anpu.
Aah Anpu.
Aah Anpu.
Asakman.
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 Amshab.
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 Alifat.
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 Ahiru.
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 Wemele nangi
Nkosi yamam.
wemele
Nkosi yamam.
siyabingelela
Nkosi yamam.
wemele
Nkosi yamam. Nkosi yamam.
siyabusela
Nkosi yamam.
wemele
Nkosi yamam.
balance kaloku. Everything is about resonance. Nothing actually more on the right, even the left side, so that we create that resonance. I'm not sure why we're sitting more this side. It's warmer than this side. Let's be comfortable. Let's move in. Okay. Now let's create some resonance and some balance on my left video. Yeah. And let's open our hearts. Sigide. Because this is what your resonance is. That is the beauty of being here. So guys, you are standing next to me, ready for your podium. Let's do that.
And today I'll be leading the announcements. So we gather here every Sunday at 897 PL Street, Orlando East, to do Umphahlo at 12 o'clock. But we don't only gather here for that. We also gather here to listen to the lectures of Mkhulu and to unlearn. So we are currently in the season of Anpu. Aah Anpu. Aah Anpu. Mqaphikazi. Molebedi. So this season started on the 23rd of April and is ending on the 23rd of May. Anpu in ancient Egypt is the god of death. Anpu assumed different roles in various contexts, depicted as a protector of graves. He was replaced by Asa in his role as lord of the underworld. So the things that align us with Anpu: Inyanga is April, Iche is serpentine, Umbala is black, Intimbi is brass, Impepo is cassia, Amaka is camphor. So this is the camphor and it's sold by the truth seekers. So this, you can use it as the incense of Anpu because we don't have the cassia at the moment. So how you use it is you burn it on coal. And then isihlahla is date palm, izilwane is dog, jackal, wolf, and beetle. So to find and follow us on our social media platforms, you go to Instagram at GEK_movement, on Twitter at GEK_movement or GEK Bonabakhulu. On Facebook is GEK Movement or Bonabakhulu Basekemu. On YouTube is Great Empire of Kemet Bonabakhulu. We are now available on Spotify and Apple Podcast at Great Empire of Kemet. So this is when you don't want to look at the live videos on YouTube, just go listen to the audio on Spotify or Apple Podcast. So at our market today, we have the truth seekers selling the anks, necklaces, rings, and bags. So these are the different types of anks to align with your season. They also sell the camphor. Please get yourself one to align. Then we have the Mahlori herbal products. This is the cancer bush, 50 grams for 100 rands, 25 grams for 50 rands. Then we have the Mahlori rubbing stuff, 250 milliliters for 150, 125 milliliters for 100, and 30 milliliters for 30 rand. These are the pills. This is the other version of the cancer bush. So you can drink these pills with water if you don't want to make tea of the Mahlori cancer bush. So you can use these pills as the cancer bush too. Then this is the new product called the butter spread.
Shea butter.
Oh, shea butter. So how you use it, you spread it on your body, or you can use it as a hair product. Get yourself one at the truth seekers. Then booksmen, they search, find, and deliver any kind of books you need or want. This is the book they sell. Sorry. It's the book of the day, but it's not called that. It's the book of coming forth. Then this one is Dr. Sebi Diet Cookbook. Get yourself one for 230 rands. This one is 200 rands. Then this one is Indaba My Children by Ukredo Mutwa. Uvusama Zulu. Get yourself one. Indaba My Children. And then on Wednesdays we give platform to black-owned businesses to market their businesses. For that you can send info@gekmovement.org. We also have our Kemet chat. You can get it by going to the website at www.gekmovement.org. This is the book Mkhulu reads from when he does Umphahlo. The African Royal Calendar. Please do get yourself a copy for 150 rands. So some facts about the African Royal Calendar. The dates don't go by the 1st to the 31st, but the 23rd to the 23rd. These are seasons, not months, and fortunately we don't have the English version of the African Royal Calendar. While on that, we are asking for translators. If anyone is willing to translate the African Royal Calendar to any language, please do volunteer and contribute your talents towards translating the African Royal Calendar. Then this is the bag, Aah Anpu Mqaphikazi. Please, that if Aah Anpu, get yourself one to align with your season. This is the handbag. They also have the school bag, not necessarily school bag, but you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, this is one of the bags they sell. Then at the back, Aah Anpu Mqaphikazi, get yourself one. Nagalina Ginnanewa representing the kingdom of Osed. 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 Angwedi. Anpu.
Ourselves a round of applause to be alive and be here. All right, focus on the guys. This is Neo. Let's give Neo a round of applause. Neo is that beautiful flower that every day we see it and we witness it flowering and it becoming more beautiful and more beautiful. But mostly, when you come to a spiritual home, we always look at what is inside you. What is the gift that you carry, whether with your smile or the walk that you walk. So Geneo, keep flourishing, keep being beautiful. We truly appreciate it. Now the most beautiful thing here to come is God doing. You have to leave behind the physicality. The physicality of you leave it at home. And when you come here, uza ungumoya. Now, if we're in a spiritual journey, that's where we need to be comfortable. We need to be comfortable to the fact that we thought we are the bodies that we see. But now having been aligned and come as a Godwin and get the teachings of Mkhulu Nsingiza, you truly understand what is beautiful and what is me is what is carried by this body. Now, we talk in spirituality, you hear these gurus and all these yogis and Mkhulu Nsingiza, they will talk about, don't listen to the voice in your head. who is the voice in your head. And they'll talk about you are not what you think. You are what is the thinking and the body is floating on. Because they teach us every day that we are the energy. So meaning energy doesn't die. So what happens to that? It's thinking. Where is it happening? In the ego, in the body. So now you are where the thinking is happening. This has to be something that you're very comfortable with. Because we talk about a lot of dimensions. You hear these words and you're like, what are they talking about? These spiritual dimensions and all of that. All of that, it is in you. You are that organ. You are that, all the communication that is happening, it is in you. We are increasing the resonance that is within us. So when you're saying Aah Anpu, Anpu is not something that is sitting above the man upstairs or right on the other side of the town. It is the frequency that is inside your body. It is the frequency. We have become so uncomfortable to go inside because there's emotions here, isn't it? When I say I love you, that becomes an emotion on its own. When I say I hate you, we are evil, it's boom. But now here's the tricky part that you need to understand as a spiritual being. Ukhokho wakho, that's where he or she is listening to that emotion. The emotions become the crucial, important parts of which you cannot lie. Because that's where the vibration is happening. And all those emotions, they are in you. Doesn't matter who triggers them outside. But we always give power to things that are outside our bodies, not what is in the body. Now, this is what colonizers did to us by bringing a physical human being. And they said you have to pray to this physical human being to connect to God. And that God was a man upstairs, isn't it? I think he had white beard and all of that. And now by doing that, that's when they instilled the fear of not being liberated. Because now we became so much scared into being inside our bodies, where we resonate, where we sit in. The body you see now, which we call it in the physicality, it's only the vehicle that started in whatever year that my mother gave back to me, and I don't know when it's going to end. But now if I am saying I am the energy inside the body, then when did my journey started? Trillions and trillions, because yes, planet Earth I think is about trillion years. So it has been a journey like that. So that is why you need to understand that when you come as Godwin now, you are bringing that inner you. When you come as Godwin, this is when now is over. Now when we talk about the African calendar, that is the identity, because we have learned a life of separating the physicality to nature. And that is not what we're supposed to do. We are one with nature. This is now where we bring our attention to the African calendar. Because the African calendar, it teaches us about the seasons and the principles. If we're talking about the season of Anpu, we're talking about that spirit of Anpu, that vibration, whether you are aware of it or not, you are vibrating on the frequency of Anpu. Now, Okhokho bethu, most brilliant thing people ever. And it's very sad that we have not done much research as Umdomnyama on where they left us on, because I'm sure there's so much we can research and add. That's why Mkhulu Nsingiza always says, let's study, let's read, because there's so much that has happened. But now we all know we're not here to blame ourselves. We understand what is the system that we were into that made us blind and made us to run away from ourselves. We have run away with what we say. I don't want that word. We don't want such words because we're comfortable to call ourselves with the names that we don't even know where they originated from. So now when you come against God, when you're coming to understand, for me to speak here, it is not, the power is not in the body, but there is a frequency that is allowing me to speak. Now let's bring that now to agriculture. While Mkhulu Nsingiza, this is for him. Now, let's bring our attention to that. On that note, in fact, let me tell you what is the topic of today. The topic of today is Anpu and the power of intent. Let's take this now. Let's take this now to, we all know what's agriculture. We're all farmers. Now, when do you start making a decision? What are you going to plant? Do you go to the nursery and decide there? Or is it something you wake up in the morning and say, my intention because of the season? Remember, there's plants that you cannot plow in winter. There's plants that are summer. So when do you take that decision and say, I am going to plow this? It's a journey, isn't it? It is something that requires you to plan. When you go to the nursery, you always know, here I'm here to buy A, B, C, D. Now we wake up every morning. When did you do your intention today? What am I going to recover? What am I going to become? What am I going to be on this particular day? Did you do that this morning? The biggest battle that we have, it is the first thought that you have in the morning before you wake up. That first thought is what it decides what is your day like. But now make sure that that thought, it actually connects with who you are. The dimensions that are in you. We live on a 3D dimension because I can see you, I can touch you, but now when I'm going spiritual, I have to go into the 4th dimension. Where is that? It's in me, isn't it? Aha! So we were limited to think we are what I see, and what I touch. But now we realize, no, I am the creator, I am the God that created all that. Because I reside, umoya wam resides in the body that is here standing. But I am not that. So Mkhulu Nsingiza, I'm not going to get so much into the topic because that's his gift. That's what he does. And that's what he does with so much love and with so much passion. Because Mkhulu, what he does, he teaches us who are we. You know, we believed we were one thing, not understanding that we are all 12 seasons. We are all 12 dimensions. We are all 12 principles. But what makes it so different from 1 and 1? It is only one thing. I am born probably in Heru. That means my highest frequency without me doing anything. It is the frequency of ascension. And it is that frequency that you get there. So in Westerners, they call that your star sign. But now, Okoko did not just thumb suck this. They used to do sacred geometry, where they would study the pattern. That's where geometry originated from. That's why you know, oh, okay, there is a triangle, there is a hexagon, there is all of that. But now when they were studying Okoko, they didn't just study outward. They knew that if something is showing above, it shows that it is in them, inside their bodies. If you really look at your chakras, which will go that later in the day, your chakras, all of that is that sacred geometry. They were so brilliant. If you have seen a pine cone, how it just, there's always, we don't have do you know a pine cone? How a pine cone, all of that, that's exactly what your crown chakra is. But now that's the study. When we're born, there's something beautiful. Oh, how can we forget about the what is it that we celebrate in December? The flower. The lotus. That's one of the things they would say. If a lotus flower can grow so beautiful in the muddy waters, what does that mean about me? That is why they would do all they would live around the Nile River, because that's where this blue lotus used to flourish. So they would copy and say, if nature can be this beautiful, that means it's something that is in me. Now let me go to us. Have we looked around where we live? How much we don't eat, how much we don't pay attention? Let's go to our rivers. Let's go to the open fields. That's where we dump all the rubbish because we believe that I am not that. Unfortunately, we are one on planet Earth. There's all of us. So we cannot just be ignorant about what is happening because you are that. All the frequencies that are making the rose beautiful is the same frequencies that are making your physicality so beautiful. Is this making sense? So when you learn the Afrikan calendar, you are learning the season, the principle of that month, so that you align your physicality. The problem is the physicality, your thinking, to align it to that frequency. Aah Anpu. 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 Mqaphikazi. Mqaphikazi. Ah Winnie Mandela. Ah Winnie Mandela. Ah Winnie Mandela. Azinziswa. Alomdudula. Zindlovukazi zalapha ke ezobethunana gave birth to this foundation. Kunye noMkhulu Nsingiza. Thokozani, I'm happy to see you. I guess gideni bethunana. Let's make sure we truly get out of this physicality and be in the spiritual realm. Thokozani is here. I guess gide Thokozani before we allow Mkhulu to come here. Thokozani sebethunana. Thokozani. for us. Step there, Benalit. 21st June. So it's good. So I want to master my kupu essential. This is the great empire of Kemet. Let's look forward to that. Let's open our hearts now. It's the time now for Mkhulu Nsingiza, for Ingwane, for Uhlongwane. Ukuthi now azosifundisa what is this power of intent. Otherwise, we're gonna keep this rhythm. We're gonna keep this. We're gonna keep this. As Mkhulu Nsingiza comes with Nana. We love you, Mkhulu. We need to learn to tell Mkhulu every day, every hour, every minute how much we love him. Because Mkhulu has opened us up to be proud of the skin color that we are, to the hair that we wear, and everything that becomes so spontaneous. We love it all because we are a black child. This is Mkhulu Nsingiza. It is your platform. Bulele Thokozani, thank you so much for all being here. Let's give ourselves a round of applause.
Angwedi Anomkubulwan Anomtutun Anomzam Azinzis Avusa Mazulu Aloli Aimotep Thokozani makhaya. Hayi siyabonga. Sibonge inkosazana esivulele yasinikeza ulwazi ngezinto ezikhona and also izinto ezisixhumanisa with vibrational frequency yale season. Siyabonga nakuwe Ndlovukazi. Sibonga ugesi. Ugesi. Sakazo. Kuthiwa ama charges wonke emela balance for his spark to be produced. So manje negative ngeke ihambe yodwa. Kumele kube ne positive. Zihlanganeke ispark siyavela lapha. Thokozani makheso. Namhlanje sikhuluma about the most important topic. Well, all of them are important. But manje silokho sidla kancane. Njengoba sidla lendlovu le system esikhulu. That is the intent. Kahle. Kuthiwa for you to be able to arrive at whatever destination, you need to have a clear picture of the destination. You cannot arrive. As an example, you can't go to the toilet now without a clear picture in your mind which you have. Otherwise, without that clear picture, uzolobo uyaluza la. NgesiZulu, intent sithi inhloso. Nibiza ngeSuthu. Hayi man. Inhloso. The intent. Yes. The reason why we are talking about the intent today is because we are in this season of Aah Anpu. Remember, Sate Aah Anpu is actually the carbon and the melanin that is, present in our system. So that is the communication agent. But that communication agent, it doesn't function properly when there's confusion in your mind. Remember, Guti, we are out of physicality. Oset broke that physical, cycle to say now you are entering the divine realm of the spirit. Sise sibele 20 skabani. Skanomkhubulwane. Yingakho nathi la isowethu yonke is in darkness. Kuba ngathi fashion. Ushama transformer wire. Aah Anpu, say I understand that all. And remember, Guti, when you find yourself in that situation where everything just stops, into see experience la, Tina even worse. Imoto just crashed. Eskom happens. It means Aah Anpu vala yonke into. Nginifuna in that divine blackness. Even mentally, because this is where it needs to start. Emqondweni ube nenhloso ukuthi ngiyaphi. Ngoba a lot of us are still confused. Ukuthi kahle iGEK siyaphi. Intent yethu is to bring down the system. That's the first thing. But then umoya then gives us the steps. Ukuthi okay fine. Your final destination yini. It's the great empire of Kemet that once ruled the continent, that once united Africans all over the world. That is the final destination. Asikhulume ke nge physicality yakhona ukuthi leyo ndlu izoba yini, izoba njani. Kepha once you start with the clear picture of the final destination, umoya assist you along. Ukuthi okay fine, ukulesigaba manje. You cannot jump the stage before usicomplete. Njengathi nje ngilongikhuluma into eyodwa. Umuntu omnyama cannot jump the stage of African unity, black unity. We cannot jump to a stage now where we are talking about economic programs, social programs. Because where are we going to decide those if we are not having a united front of black people? Because that is the foundation of the future. We know that there are a lot of black people who are going against the tide of nature. When you oppose what GEK is promoting, you are going against the tide of nature. And we all know what will happen. Umoya uzokududula because Tina singela emakhehleni ethu. Obabu credo asikhulumi ngephilosophy kaNsingiza. Nsingiza doesn't have a philosophy, but Nsingiza is a perpetual student of the African philosophy. Hey, and then you can never when you are at the peak of that knowledge system. You'll be lying because there's so much to learn. And the futungajahi. Ukuyohamba uyoma phambi kwabantu ukuthi you are still wet behind the ear. You must take your time and internalize lento so that iphile la ngaphakathi kuwe. So the journey when we started nabo Mamweni nabo Zinzi, it was exactly that. What gave us the power and the strength? It's that intent of knowing and seeing ukuthi the structure that we are in, it danger ilapho. It danger or the poison that we consume on a daily basis is promoted by the very same structure that is praised all over the world. South Africa has got the best constitution. Why don't they implement it in their own countries? Where Umvenda nomshangale nomswati, they own 80% of the land of Britain. Why don't they implement that constitution in their own countries and open up the doors for us to come and own the land? So the intent was clear in our heads. Yingakho umoya udropa ama-bomb all the time. Remember ukuthi la emoyeni siphila ngesambulelo, divine inspiration. It means ukuthi you are 24 hours downloading what you receive from the universe. And the universe unfolds the whole program. Kutiwa inkosi, those were the signs of a king. A king must be given ikusasa namhlanje and how to get there. A king can never be confused njengabantu bayo. Abuza abantu ukuthi manje siya kanjani phambili. Ubuza kanjani because umholi walabantu. You are supposed to be the leader of these people. You're supposed to take a lead. Why? Because Coco, our ancestors have given you a clear picture of the future. Tina, what we are working on here, we are not going to revive, ihashi labelungu silibona ukuthi liyafa. Hey, we are not reviving this dead horse. He's infected lehashi labelungu. So Tina sifuna ukulibeka phansi. Sibize futhi SPCA. Hey, silwisa phansi ngendlela yethu yesintu. Sambe siliphuzise something liwele. Because lehashi mele liwe for a black person to truly live a normal life. This is abnormal. Abnormal lento esikuyo. And enye into ukuthi we are so comfortable in this abnormality. I know it's okay. As long as I package yam is fast. This is what we have. Hey, this is what we have come down to as African people. Instead ukuthi ulwele ukuthi kuwe le system, because here the system uzwa angazi futhi ukuthi ubuvaka bungenaphi, ngoba you can quote bona labelungu labotsotsi who gave us this structure. The UN in 1974 said South Africa is crime against humanity. That's what they said. They declared that. So we are not saying anything when you are pointing out at this structure. This is the whole poison that is poisoning black people all over the continent. Why? Because it is the same structure esavunyelwa okhokho bethu. So now, during the season Aah Anpu, we are intentional in terms of destroying the structure in our minds. Kumele siwe in our minds first. Then kusali indonga. Indonga will just fall if a black person arises and occupy their duty and role and their position in this whole universe. Kutiwa tina yiti, that always esi compromise. Hey, isikhathi so compromise nesikhathi so negotiate siphelile. How many years Africa ilokhu ikhuluma nalabantu bangayizwa? Now we are intentionally destroying ngesikhathi sika Anpu masipahla. That should be the vibration. It means ukuthi uma uAnpu akuzwa ngaphakathi kuwena ukuthi what is your intention, njengoba usondela kimi, me as Anpu, what are your intentions? Ungiphatha ngoba you want to maintain a system. Noma remember ukuthi uAnpu umphahlo uthi ngumhambi wendlela kama-art, the traveler of that journey of my art. It means ukuthi uAnpu akahambelani nento engena order and balance. Hey, yingakho ke bese ke ukhahlelela indlovukazi uSegment athi bangeneke Segment. The intent has been registered. So do your work, Segment. Hey, uSegment does the work Then, who said, abilities? Okay. Because discernment has already happened. Ukuthi hayi, i-5 yalabantu yibo abaqondile. The rest of them. Iskale city. Do you understand? So it's very important for us ukuthi we reactivate those innate abilities zethu. Those innate abilities zethu Thokoza Kev. Those innate abilities zethu to actually construct a future in our minds that we are powerful on. And that is the picture eyasulwa. Chokutu umlungu. Waisula that picture from your mind, from your spirit, from yourself, your consciousness. Ukuthi wena, wakutshela ukuthi wena, you belong or you from a dark continent. It means if you are from a dark continent, it means ukuthi you never contributed anything. Before Abu Babu Credo, Abu Shikhanta Diop, Abu Theophilo Benga, there were too many slaves on the continent who were comfortable with that position of being a slave. Because by Jela Guti, umlungu mdala, umlungu nenganono. Do you understand? So Ubuvaga was rife. 1976, Utsietsi rises and motivates and mobilizes the youth with one intention: to bring down the system. And they achieved it. Intention bangana bamu bangana luto. Facing inganono ngamache nesivalo se dustbin. That's how they liberated this country. About the intention, that intent. It was quite clear kubo ukuthi inkinga in the system. Yingakho uTietsi was not under any political philosophy but black consciousness. He didn't say, I belong to PAC, I belong to that one. He mobilized all the youth of the time. When they assembled all over, kuyiwa lapha eLentuzeni, New Canada. We're marching to Pretoria. Amapunas Vimbala, New Canada. A united front of black students who had the intent of destroying the system and bringing it down to its knees. And it happened. What was the intent in 1960? 61? Huh? Huh?
76.
1960. The past thing. Yabosobu. Huh?
One unity, one Africa. It was said by Kwame Nkrumah. We must have come out with one currency, one system, one official language, and unite. If we don't unite here, it's over.
Hey, but in 1960,
it was for the ID.
Yes, Abo Sobuko were tired. Ukuthi ba-identifywe ngamanamba njengeyinkomo. As we are still identified, uzalwa nje. You are already a property of the state. At birth, you are given a number. I know. Ile nkunzi usibanibani. Ile thole usibanibani. Do you understand? All that came with the system. Thina siyazi thina leyo nto leyo. Ukubiza abantu yingakho uBhambatha died. Bhambatha kaMancinza. Khanda Mpondo. Kuthiwe manje ikhanda noMudlu kumele likhokhe ke lentela efunwa abelungu. Amakhosi ke lawo esiwakhothayo. people who were prepared and ready to lay down their lives in defense of the people and their land. Amakhosi ke lawo. Ukuthi uyinkosi but wena you are comfortable in the luxury provided by the colonizer to silence you, never to rise against him. Hey, this is what happened. I'm going to burn my mentions all over in rural areas. Kunezindlu zodala. Kepha inkosi ihlala kwenye mention. Hey, this is how they've turned our own people against us. Our own kings and queens are now so materialistic. There's no longer an intent to free this land from the colonizer. It is their war. Bolempi. Tina singobani. Basibiza abafokazana ngithi. Ekepa umfokazana today makes sense more than inkosi. Inkosi has turned to be umfokazana. Ngoba inkosi ibhadalwa umfokazana. Inkosi igcotshwa umfokazana. President suka le Pitori whatever azobamba ikhanda lenkosi yethu endaweni yethu athi ngiyagcoba namhlanje. You have a right to ascend to the throne. Umfokazana loyo. So when you kill that intent ngaphakathi kwena, you are dead. You are dead because you are no longer having a clear picture. Ukuthi kahle kahle mina, what am I living for? Ngiphilelani mina? Ngiphilela ukuvuka nje ekseni. Ngihambe ngiyosebenzela lo mlungu. Ngibuye ekhaya. Mengibuye ekhaya ngikhathele. Inhliziyo incane. Hey, ingane yomlungu bengithuka the whole day. Intshebe umuntu omdala. Siyakwazi konke lokho. Le ngane ezibabusayo kulama company. They insult them on a daily basis. And that will continue until you as a black person have an intent of recovering your economy. It will continue. Labelong, they won't stop. As long as when you are a willing slave of the 21st century, nyosebenza ukuze nyoseva lwamlu. That's all I see in my life. Omunye umuntu has done actual actuarial science. Labantu, these are people who can design lenduza insurance packages because they are good in mathematics. They can bring numbers and make sense kuwo wonke amanamba. Usafuna ukuyosebenza umlungu. Uhlakaniphe kangaka mama. Hey, that's the thing. Why? Because lemqondweni wakho, you don't have an intent of a better future for yourself. Umlungu is the alpha and omega. Ngithola le degree because ngifuna kuya lapha Alexander Forbes. Uyoba slave lapha. Alexander Forbes controls our pension funds that should be developing you and I in these townships. And those pension funds, mostly in majority, are pension funds of black people. Because who's the majority in the workforce? It's black people. But all those billions under management, some pension funds, are not coming to our areas. Ziphelela boMasenti, ziphelela boMapitori. Imali ye pension fund le ngabe izo developer iSoweto to be better than sentin. Kunabantu lapha abantu abamnyama who sits in these boards of these pension funds. Uthi amabhunu akhula kanjani amabhunu? Because amabhunu use the lama pension funds money effectively to develop themselves. Baka Bosanlam, Baka all these, financial institutions, so that they can sustain their growth. Do you understand? So, Umtomnyama can never kill that intent. Once you have that intent, I tell you, I guarantee, Umoya assist you to reach your destination. Awukwazi ukuvuka nje ekseni. Uvuke nje ungena plan. Do you understand? Kumele uvuke wazi ukuthi okay fine. I-journey yami is going to get me by that time. But manje every day ngiyadlinza nginenhloso of achieving something towards my destination. So i-intent ke yabantu abamnyama, this is the power, this is the clue, this is the clue eyenze ukuthi all the milestones zethu, it was that intent, i-unity. Abosobukwe during the past demonstration, they knew ukuthi when they deliver and reveal the final destination ebantwini, it will go down very well with them because they are also affected by the very same thing. So a leader does that, reveals the intention. Ukuthi kahle kahle i-intention yethu ukuze sitoyitoye ungatoyitoyi utoyitole nje ukuthi hayi wena you just want material things, to flow easily towards you. Do you understand? Umtomnyama should be focused on contributing towards normality of all black people. You can't be that selfish. His struggle is for everybody, Makesha. His struggle involves everybody and it needs a contribution from everybody. Ufuna ukungitshela ukuthi asinaba bo immortal who can come up with a solution for the problem guys come. We can't think of a solution. Or just lighting the house. You develop that solution so that it also lights. I spoke about the magnets the other day. Magnets produce electricity. That has been proven. So it's an idea that needs to be developed. Because the more ideas we have of coming up with a solution, because u-Eskom uyasiqhaphaza. U-Eskom uyasiqhaphaza kahle kahle. Mina ngiyeke ngithi kahle kahle. Abantu abamnyama asikafiki on the subject of reparations. Abantu abamnyama are owed trillions. Asikhulumeni about that. Before you come and demand the electricity lagimi. Can you talk about how are you going to recover all the resources that I lost as a black person? Then I can hear you and say I project in 10 years, trillions will flow to us. Because that is what we are owed. Hey, ungamameli lamakhehla langa amadala langa, because they are going to oppose it. They opposed it in 94. They told Shell and all these companies that were involved funding apartheid. Oh no, stay. We will protect you against the lame families when they come after you. That's what they did. That's what they said to white people. Tina, as if manje, we don't deserve a comfort of our wealth. There's no Anglo-American or PHP that came here with the resources, man. Futhi angisakhulumi ngalabo. I-government South Africa owes black people trillions of rands, which must be repaid. Before you come and tell me ukuthi ngibhadala ugesi. Usaba belungu zakini. That's what they do. Basabu kokokota bo Anglo ukuthi hey, bo Rupert, all these people. The thieves. The real thieves. Zosukela abantu la elokishini ukuthi no batshontsha ugesi. Ugesi akaba. Ngoba lo gesi. Because lo gesi is produced from my own resources as a black person. For yona lento ukuthi you can put a price on the gas that I received la elokishini. It's absurd. Ungakhulumanga nami. Ukuthi mfowethu siyalapha kini eBergville. Siyophehla ugesi ngoba kunamanzi. EBergville baphehla ugesi. But iBergville istrugglisha ngogesi. EBergville badonsa amanzi. La atholakala la. In Gauteng badonsa leBergville. The source of Uthukela River is eBergville eMangwaneni. They never negotiated naMangwane ukuthi sicela ukudonsa lamanzi. Sicela ukuphehla lo gesi. Bawuphehla mahala le. Bazosicharge la. If justice la. Where's the justice? Because the leader abantu who don't have good intentions for umuntu omnyama. Because that's the first thing that they should have assisted Amangwane with. Amangwane must be paid. And that payment must be backdated to the day they started to press and knock on the manzi. From eBergville. I'm just making eBergville as an example. But it's something that happens all over the country. Our resources are being abused. Tina mele sithobela umthetho. Umthetho uthi I will never replace the transformer until nina nibhadala. That's what they are doing like Soweto. All over Soweto kufama transformer. And the lama transformer afakwa amabhunu. Ofakwa ile new lentuza. New yan futhi akumele new government la. It's an extension of the old. Ihashe limhlophe balipende black. That's exactly what happened. Hey, so intent is the most powerful thing, Makhe. If kahle kahle besinabantu abahluzekile, ngabe simnandi sonke. And labantu laba basikolotayo abekho le Britain. Bala, they are here in South Africa. So why spy again? Huh? Enye into labantu laba basitshela ukuthi Eskom has got a debt that amounts to billions. Who created that debt? Who created that debt? Huh? It's them. Manje bahleli la. Ilokhu yenyuka electricity because of the debt yabo. They created ngamabomu. Amagovu mosaneti. They would rather take 60 billion by share amongst them by 5 and leave the majority of black people, in desperate situation. Njengamanje, what can we do without ESCOM? So that's why I look forward to periods like these. Ukuthi ziyasihluza la emakhaya. They make us think, ukuthi, how do I survive this? What is the alternative? The abuse there that we are exposed to almost on a daily basis. Kuthiwa i-transformer meyifa edrobheni. It takes them just 24 hours for them to replace. Sorry, my friend. It takes them 24 hours to replace, but la location. Abantu bane 6 months banganagesi. U-ESCOM uthi anibhadali. That's why you have no right, you have no say. But isimbuza back. What about the money that we are owed? Because that would have given us a position efana neyabelungu. Had these trillions been collected in 94, wonke umuntu omnyama ngabe isorted. Wonke umuntu omnyama ngabe unebusiness or uwenza something. Active economically. We are not active economically because even the instruments they develop to assist us in terms of development, they give you the same condition that you find in the, a corporate bank in South Africa. Basho njalo. Beseke benzani, because there are other funds that they release that are supposed to assist black people. But Nigabo invested to manage those funds. And they invested each anywhere. Yati, we need so much return from the money we give you. So instead of making us comfortable as black people and risk imali for us, sebebeki percentage bacheli invested. Don't lose this money. You lose it, you pay us. Investor gives us the condition ukuthi hayi no ndoda. Bhalisa ngazi uyokhuluma nomalume no auntie nabo basayine isurety izindlu zabo zonke. That's what they say. They want a guarantee, they want you usayine over whatever assets eninawo lapho kini. So how have you helped a black person in that situation? You haven't. You just pretended to be helping us. Kanti usibophile on the other hand. So he pretends nje siphila nabantu who are pretending for us. They are not there to actually help us. They are not there to retain, and make us return to our position as the owners of the land, because it's all about that. I cannot develop economy as an African person or a black person in my own country. Why? Because umhlaba is held by our banks and the government. How is this a black economy going to be developed? Because it's the second stage of our rising as a black people. Unity. Then we look at the economy. How do we replace the products of the colonizer in our communities? That's the second level. How are we going to get there without the land? How did the Afrikaners, gain so much wealth? Umhlaba. Hey, when they handed over, from the British. Afrikaners, they saw what the British did to empower themselves. Now, but when they took over, the 1913 Act, Land Act. of 1913. Hey, yapaswa, so that they are able to reach the level of the British people. Tina siyangena, ama British, they took over the whole country. Remember, the Queen owns the whole continent. Wherever you see a republic, you must know that is the possession of a queen. Ama managers become ama politicians. They become managers of the assets of the queen. So Amapunu, when they took over, they then passed that law to empower themselves because they understood economics. You cannot develop an economy without land. Nathi bokumele sishaye lo mthetho futhi sisenga ushaya if singathola amaqhawe haya mabhaka la bokumele sishaye lo mthetho sibavalela amabhunu namangisi esayithini sithi ho futhi sibanikeza icamp yabo siba create icamp ukudlalana la. We are still empowering ourselves. Mr. Right, we will open that gate. That's exactly what they did. Futhi ungangikwatisi ngale melanini yakho ube nozwelo ngaleyo. Hey, because this is what is killing us. Le melanin lagini nenza nibe nozwelo for evil people. Oh, we can't do that to white people. That's cowardice. How can you uzwele abantu who are evil towards you? Because it's a natural progression of things. You take over, you make sure the land comes back. Then you develop yourself. How do you develop yourself when the land is still held by your colonizer, man? Then when we take action to do something about it, oh, please don't hurt white people. Shaki loyo. Loyiwe like that. You're messed up like that. Hey. It means you can't see the future outside of Abelung. Abelung deserve to be valelo in a camp. That's what they did to us. Isoweti camp, man. I'm still in the camp. That's what they did to us. Hey, they created the Makembo all over the country, and then they kept the good places for themselves. You do people like that in their own country. Even our kings who were fighting all over the continent, they never did such a horrible thing. Manje, yini ke lezwelayo when you are demanding justice? Ukuthi what you did to me, I'm not going to give you another cheat. Hey, mele, your response has got to be like that. Otherwise, from experience, from Mozambique, Umlungu knows only one language in Dugu. One language. Umlungu of respect. Umkabe begebenza. Befangu umkabe. Umlungu begazi ukuthi mengifike eZimbabwe kumele ngithobele umthetho wala. Yebo. Hey. Manje ke and the learn to see experience it just in a short while. Umlungu knows only. Umlungu doesn't respect weakness. Once we are weak, uzoloke ehleli la ekhanda. And angeke suke la ekhanda. Hey, noma ungamtshela ukuthi hey intamo yami yanqambo akanandaba nalo. Why? Because une objective iyodwa. I deserve this life of privilege. Even where I don't belong. Abelung don't belong here. We don't belong in Britain anymore. Noma iqiniso says the opposite. We once ruled all over the world. We are the first citizens of Mshaba. Hey, when Africa rises again, Africa in a right to claim, to reclaim Umhlaba wonke. Akekho futhi omunye umuntu onayo leyo right. Nobody else has that right to claim Australia except black people, to claim China except black people, to claim America except black people. We're the first ones to arrive in America. Columbus. Who they discovered America. We're there a long time ago. That's fake. Hey, he wasn't even a thought in his parents' minds. Tina were ruling that part. And the evidence says so. Agusho Tina. There's a Ulendoza, Urashid. Urashid. He passed away. May he rise in power wherever he is. Bonke labantu, let them rise in power and look back and then come and assist us. Because these are the people who pointed us to the right direction. Urashidi gave us that confidence. Ukuthi, we are the first citizens of the world. Scientific evidence, incwadi zakhe. Ziyakutshela ukuthi all over the world. Then ulenduza Ivan van Sertima. Yena ke we calculate even the years. Ukuthi before this year, the whole world was black. The whole world. Manje uyabona ukuthi majority yabantu emhlabeni abantu abamnyama, but you know, it's like we're a minority. Why? Because we've been told a lie, you know, repeatedly. We end up believing it ourselves. Hey, that is why we're so abnormal. And the manje Tina, we are healing ourselves. Kuthiwa iva likishwa ngelinye iva. Ngekukhiphe iva nje, you know, with any other thing but iva. You need that sharp thing as we keep a land. And in general, keep up so buyazwela vele. So Uzwan, you cannot be involved in this struggle somtomnyama if we equal. And you cannot be involved with the struggle somnyama if you no zwelo. Lo zwelo lwakho lezwa ile melanin. Awukubrige. Ube discipline ubrige, ubophe. Because this is the very same thing eyenza ukuthi siluze umhlaba. Sathi sibabona sathi abantu. Can't you know they are worse than ilwane? Hey, this is what killed us ubuntu bethu. Sabafaka all over. Basijikela njengotshwala eswini. Sijalo. Namhlanje asinamhlaba because of le melanin yakho. Awukuyikhuze man. Hey. Awukuyikhuze. Isikhathi sozwelo. Siphelile. Is up. Isikhathi manje sempi. Ngoba sisempini. And the lempi we are going to win. Because umoya is behind us. We are not losing this war. And the ngeke si win the lempi. Ngetonga Bishop Tutu. Yes, reconciliation. We don't talk reconciliation here. We are not reconciling with evil people. All we want from these evil people, our resources back. Umhlaba nemali abayitshontsha kithi nenkomo and everything. This is what must return. And ngeke uthi manje it's OT. Icede ukuhijack. Jojo, please man, I'm going. That is why Ikebeng were very happy. Angas Boguba, the Minister of Police. Boguba, so Balola. But Bucks. But Christmas. Why? Because you thought to me like Tony. Make it bonus, you could know about bamboo machine. Hey, Manje Moses Agubo with that begging attitude. Unanga kanjani into yakho? Awukwazi uncenga into yakho kumele uyithathe ngenkani if necessary. Hey, ubani ozofuna ukungitshela ukuthi lo mhlaba sowuthola nje. Ha ngeke. Kumele silwe. Silwa impi yomoya qala. Then umoya uzosondeza to a period ukuthi manje sokumele sithathe ibhamu. Sisayinqoba manje. Okwamanje sisayinqoba lento emoyeni. So that masisondela kubo sinale ora. Sesimamba jibhamu bayiwe. Injalo makhesi. Kumele siyilwe lento. Asisayilweli thina makhesi. Sesilwela laba. Yabona laba. Yibo okumele bakhule in wealth. Because they are born in abundance. But the system has provided scarcity for them. Umntwana sesowethu ukhula azi nje ukuthi ekhaya siyahlupheka and there's no chance ukuthi siphume kule nhlupheko. Why? Because umlungu and the politicians have agreed to deprive lo mntwana i-abundance. So sesebenzela bona makhehla. Asasebenzele enye into. Thina siyavaya. Asambeni ukuthi le ngane won't go and spit on our graves and say nani benazi kepha nenzanga lutho, you did nothing. Hey, other nations they do that. Uthi why am I Arab le Palestine baqolela ukubopha amabhomu la bayos detonator defending in future yengane zabo. That is why Putin is doing what he's doing, because he's defending the future yengane zama Russians. Manje umuntu omnyama into esiyibulele is the intent. Inhloso yethu ukuthi sihlosephi as a nation of black people. Ngoba manje what we are demonstrating is cowardice of the utmost. Umhlaba wonke is talking about nationalism everywhere. Ufika lapha eFinland thina mafini sicabangela thina. Lento yenu mhlambe neRussia siyayibona kepha thina sisadinga lokho. Umuntu omnyama akekho in that